to The Conversation. And my name is Shannon Taylor, Executive Director of Blacks and Jews in Conversation on this election night, November 4th, 2008. And with me in the background is Stan Shepiro, our treasurer. We bring you our treasurer on this magnanimous night. And what you've just heard is our opening tape by his son, Eli Shapiro, a film festival entrepreneur in the making. And I tell you, it's a pleasure to have an opening and a closing and somebody who's in the genre of film on our volunteer staff of our Blacks and Jews in Conversation in this monumental election year. I have no idea who's going to win, but whatever it is, it's exciting. And we have all kinds of things to play for you tonight. The continuation of our interview of Mayor Finkelstein, the founder and director of the Israel Film Festival, going on as I speak for another week and a half till November 13th at the cinema on 62nd and Broadway. And he'll tell you more about that in the tape we have of a continued interview. I was at the gala with Danny DeVito and Michael Douglas and directors Allen and Zwick. And of course, Zwick, my favorite, is coming up with on December 12th with the opening of his new movie, Defiance, a word that is a symbol of everything I've stood for all my life. Defiance by the greatest resistance fighters of the Holocaust, who saved some 1,200 Jews, finally being told, as he said, how did this story, like the Maccabees, get overshown and omitted until now. The first movie, major motion picture about Jewish resistance, like my father was in the French resistance with Marcel Marceau and all those honored people, but never made into a movie till now. But we're going to treat you tonight for a few comments with Stan Shapiro about his son, about the election year, and then we're going to go through a few tapes, and then, of course, Mayor Finkelstein of the Israeli Film Festival with our continued interview. Take it, Stan.
First of all, thank you very much, Shannon, for inviting me to appear on that show tonight. You know, just on this auspicious day, an election day, and an election which really I want to start by saying it marks a vindication and an endorsement of just what our organization, Blacks and Jews, and not just Blacks and Jews in Conversation, has been working to promote for now 15 years, and now it's been adopted as the platform of not just of the Democratic Party for sure, and Senator Obama and even the Republican Party that it's a plan to break down stereotypes and realize the truth that we all have much more in common than what separates us, and that if we could communicate and find that common ground, and I hope working forward we do, and that seems exactly what Senator Obama has run on, and as well as Senator McCain, who's emphasized his history of reaching across party lines, and that's what we've been all about. And I think this marks such a momentous day for the state of New York, which is, the polls haven't closed yet, but by all of the pre-counting, pre-voting surveys, as the state is going to send its electoral votes for Senator Obama, our first minority candidate for president, to actually win the major party endorsement, and of course now maybe soon to be president-elect. But I congratulate you, Shannon, for all your work over the past 15 years, and now America seems to be saying, yes, we agree.
Well, thank you, Stan. You're, of course, our attorney of quite some distinction, solo practitioner. There aren't that many still surviving, and thank God to have you on board, helping us all through these years, as well as the rest of our volunteers. And that's what we stand for, dialogues and volunteerism and bringing people together and fighting hate.
Yeah.
And now let's go right to your son, who's been instrumental with us, and please introduce your little clip. But first I want to show the flyer for the Israel Film Festival. It's at the Clearview Cinema, 62nd and Broadway. The festival, of course, is not-for-profit, as we have Mayor Finkelstein here, and they honor Danny DeVito, Erwin Winkler, Edward Zwick at the gala. He'll be talking about that. It took place at the Ziegfeld Theater last week. But the films are plenty, and they're continuing, and he'll be going into them in some detail, Mr. Finkelstein. But first, let's hear about your son, a prodigy, because that's what this festival develops. It raises scholarships and monies for prodigies. Your son can tap into it.
Well, my son, Eli Shapiro, is, I would say quite accomplished for his age. He's only 17, but he's already created several, maybe about a half a dozen movies, and one of them, which is, I think, was filmed at while he was a student at Solomon Schechter Day School, high school, and so I think it really fits in to the theme of the Israeli Film Festival. It's made in America, but it's a Jewish oriented film, and while it is not being screened at the Israeli Film Festival, it will be screened on December 9th here in New York City as part of the new filmmakers fall schedule. It'll be screened at the Anthology Film Archives at 2nd Avenue and 2nd Street at the corner, and that will be, everybody jot this down. I'm sure you won't be able to remember the date now, but it'll be on December 9th, 2008 at 6 p.m. We're going to show a trailer, an extended trailer from the film, and I would, if you want to get the information, and we'd love to have feedback on what you think, you could send it to Stanley K. Shapiro at AOL.com. That's StanleyKShapiro, 15 characters, at AOL.com. It's called The Dealer.
Yo, Shapiro. Shapiro. My name is Eli Shapiro. I'm just an ordinary kid with an ordinary life. Except I cheat in poker and steal lots of money. My friend's name is Elon. We're inseparable. The only problem is the two of us together is like a flaming match over a pack of dynamite. We get into trouble when we're bored, which is why we started recess poker. I was elected official dealer of these poker tournaments. At first we played for just a few bucks, but each month the amount of money on the line would increase. Now there's a rule of human nature. Whenever money is involved, there's bound to be cheating. Me and Elon just fulfill that principle. I rig the deck so Elon wins every time, then we split the money.
You steal money from kids you know and go to school with?
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. What?
Eli, how was school?
What?
How was school?
Oh, yeah, fine.
Come here, Eli. Is anything wrong?
No, nothing's wrong.
I'm your mother. You can tell me if something's bothering you.
I said like 2 words. Why do you assume something's bothering me?
See, now you're getting angry.
I'm not angry.
Eli, are you on drugs?
This is my mother. I know she means well, but, well, at least she means well. This is my brother, Zach. We share a bedroom, which kind of gets annoying sometimes. What do you want? What do you mean, what do I want? I want to come into our room. No. Zach! Zach! Open the door, Zach!
Eli, are you asleep?
This is my dad. He's just like any other father. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is hard to say.
It is hard to determine a century's most important technological invention or scientific discovery, not least because of our ideas of the date of a given invention are not clear. There are many things that readers would list among the most interesting achievements of this century, when in fact they date from the century before ours, the automobile, for example, and the skyscraper, and the subway, the dynamo, and the turbine. You can also add the typewriter, the gramophone, the dictaphone, the sewing machine, refrigerator, as well as...
Thank God! I mean, what a shame. This is Amanda Freed. I had a huge crush on her.
Eli, what are you looking at? Heaven.
Oh, hey, Alright, I just need to calm down, take a few breaths. I just accidentally screwed up the word. Hello? Hello! It's 2 freaking syllables! Can't you get that straight, you stupid... How did you mess it up? What were you thinking? You had one chance to talk to her, and you blew it! You're a stupid, stupid kid! What are you looking at?
If that's your friend calling, I swear I'll...
It's okay, Mom, I got it. Hello?
Hi, is this Stan Shepiro?
Yep, that's me. And who's speaking?
Hi, it's Amanda Freed.
Ah. Oh. Hello? Hey, it's Eli Shapiro. Sorry about that. Phone line must have broken or something.
It's okay. It's nice to hear you speaking English for a change.
Oh, yeah. Stupid. So how can I help you? You take these 2 equations and you subtract them, and then what you get, you simplify that, and you find out that x is
27.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thanks. I think I get it now.
Yeah. So.
Such a name. You're such a name. Sweet confusion.
Eli, I think we should stop this whole poker thing. We can't continue doing this. If we keep this up, we'll be bound to get caught at some point. And, I just think it'll be best for everyone if we just stop.
No, we're not finished. We're not finished. If we're gonna end this thing, we're gonna go out with a bang.
What do you mean?
I mean, we're gonna have the biggest, greatest poker tournament the school has ever seen. It's all down to Marks, Sauer, and Elon. We've got a problem.
If you were to give me, I don't know, the right cards tomorrow, maybe I could split the prize with you.
He told me to cheat for him in the tournament.
Listen, Shapiro, I'm going to be straightforward with you. I want you to cheat for me today so I win the tournament. We'll split the money.
No deal.
All right, Mike, hurry.
All right, I'll do it. What? You say you're gonna cheat for Sauer too? I'm in social studies right now. Immediately after this class is recess and the tournament. Oh, what am I gonna do? No matter what I do, I have to lose so much. The problem is that no matter who wins, there's always 2 losers left. Unless I let everyone win. Nah, that can't happen. So what am I gonna do? Maybe I won't cheat at all. Maybe I'll let fate decide. Or maybe...
All right, guys, got any tests?
Tests? Okay, good.
As long as no one knows that we're cheating, we'll be all right.
Well, actually...
Actually? Well, who did you tell?
I may have mentioned it to Amanda.
Amanda? That blabbermouth gossip girl? Wait. Shapiro's been cheating for Elon. What? I thought he was cheating for me. I thought he was cheating for me. I thought he was cheating for me.
You were cheating for all of them?
I wasn't cheating for anybody.
You're all a bunch of cheaters. I've turned on all of you. I'm gonna blackmail all of you unless we split the money 5 ways.
Alright, fine. Guys, the money's over there.
The money's not here. Hey, where's Shapiro?
We don't think of ourselves as bad people. We're good kids who just do bad things.
Come on. We try to play a poker game here? Elon, all this constant chatter with the dealers making me suspicious.
What? Suspicious? You think we're cheating? That's suspicious.
Oh man, you back me up.
You make me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Make me laugh.
Right away. Okay.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. I done said the right thing, but it must have used the wrong line.
All right, and here we are. Thank you, Stan, and thank you, Eli. And I'm ready to submit at any time you want to go. Any final comments,
Is it
Stan?
worth it?
Go ahead.
A
Any final
murderer
comments,
must
Stan?
always ask himself, is it worth it?
If you would email me, if you want to know when it's screening in next month in its entirety, at StanleyKShapiro at AOL.com, StanleyKShapiro at AOL.com. And any feedback on this, Eli would love to get, so thank you very much. So thank you, Shannon.
All right.
And also...
And now here we go to the Israel Film Festival. I want you, this is it. Here we are, the Israel Film Festival. This is 2008, the 23rd Israel Film Festival at the Clearview Cinema, 62nd and Broadway. Have you seen any of those films, Stan?
I'm hoping to see some this week.
Which ones?
As many as I can.
All right. That's as good an endorsement as we can have.
I'm sure they're all good, or at least worthwhile to see. Everything has some redeeming value at that festival, is my experience. He has an ambition to, I don't say hopefully, but he actually does have an ambition to try to do it, continue training and producing films professionally, and I get to see what, I think he has a chance of making it, and we get to see him in his early stages. An interesting anecdote from when I first realized that he was a little bit different in regard to, than the average kid in regard to this creating movie making. He was maybe 7 years old, and I remember it was a summer day. It was around the 4th of July, back 10 years ago. And we were riding bikes together. We passed a spot on the background which we're just chatting, and I say to him, "Oh, this would make a good setting for a scene in a movie, and a chase scene." And he agrees, and we chat. Oh, why would they be? Why would one side be chasing another as set? And that conversation lasts a couple
As
of
kind of
minutes.
elitist in the film industry and has managed to bring America's film industry to admire. Am I correct that America has now become quite an admirer of what Israel's film produces?
When you say admire, you mean my name, Meyer?
Well, it's a partnership between the two admirations here, yes?
Thank you. Yeah, we showed in the last 22 years almost 800 films, documentaries, feature films, student shorts. We're doing something very special, and I really want to mention to the audience that we established this year through the support of the fund for the lottery fund, Israeli fund, called Mifal Apart. Fund for the art, a new initiative where we're going to give 6 Israeli students in 6 film schools in Israel a $2,500 contribution to for the final film of a student in the final year, to help him to do a better film before he's going to the industry. And we're going to bring also those students to Los Angeles and New York and showcase them to the American and to the audience. And hopefully this will be every year, where we're going to support 6 students. We're going to choose the films from about 20 films that we're going to get from those students in the next 4 months. And we will support them and then show them in the festivals in New York and in Los Angeles. And we think that this is a good way to support the starting of the students of Israeli filmmaking, and not just to showcase the final product in the United States.
Thank you very much. This concludes our second segment. And of course, it's a non-commercial program, and you can see that they're not-for-profit as well as us, and they're sponsoring scholarships, and we encourage such support for our youth as we do with our own programming. Thank you very much, and best success to the festival.
Thank you.
All right, Stan, you're back on the air, Stan.
Yes,
Go
thank
ahead.
you. Well, and I to continue my anecdote of when when Eli was 7, we we're bike riding, and he says, oh yeah, this would make a good scene. Or I say to him, and he agrees that this would make a good setting for a chase scene. And he thinks, what would be the circumstances why they would have a chase scene there? Well, we then go out and go by our activities that day, and the next day is it's summertime. He gets up, and we're about to go out for another bike ride, and he says, "Oh yeah, Dad, I thought I figured out the movie, what the plot could be for what that chase scene was that we saw yesterday." And I said, "Oh yeah," and he starts to tell me what it is, and he said he'd been thinking about it at night and had slept on it, and he then proceeds to describe for me scene by scene for 45 minutes a complete movie from beginning to end, with a somewhat compelling plot line and action, etc. that he had created from that first kernel. And then really what was most remarkable for me was that one of the scenes that he described really stood out to me as being the kind of scene that you could really really would show up in one of the commercial action films. The way, a very unique kind of way of having an action shootout scene. And I commented to him that one really stood out, and he said he immediately jumped in and he agreed. Yes, that scene also excited me. I thought that was great, and I know where the camera would be when I'm shooting it, and that caught me off guard. Was already he was thinking on levels that beyond me. It was just casually, I'm watching a movie and I like it, and he's watching a movie and he likes it, but he also is figuring out how are they creating the effects, how are they getting telling this story in the most powerful, impactful, and economical way, and he's developed from there. So I have high hopes for that young man. Although one thing I have a little bone to pick with you, or at least with your discussion, was, he created the opening for this show, and you mentioned that his volunteer work. I thought he was getting paid for all of this.
Well, no.
I'm just joking.
His work is compensated, because he's a professional. So what little funds come in to our organization would, of course, compensate him. But of course, there's a certain degree of work that he does that is volunteer. And as you know, this election night, everything is happening here. I'm getting bombarded with all kinds of things, and remotes are not working, and we have plenty more of the interview of Mayor Fenixstein to play in the future, which we will. And this got to be the most complicated show I ever did. I have no end to these DVDs and these tapes and the movies, and I just want to commend everybody to go to the Israel Film Festival. The movies that are coming up are legion. And I saw Lost Islands, which I'm not about to go into because I wasn't lost in the plot that has to do with a Jewish family and an Israeli family and what they go through and all the miseries of life that we all share. And there are plenty more things that deal more with Jewish identity and with personal identity than with war, which was the case in the past. And this is the film festival brochure. You can catch us. And it's the 60th anniversary of Israel that is being celebrated. And American-Israel Friendship League, of course, has been one of our closest friends, as has the Consul General of Israel. And thank you very much, Stan.